morning, guys, and welcome to the show. Good morning, Fernando. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, Jesus, couldn't be better.
How's everybody?
How's everybody out there? Glad to hear it. Did you hear him say how good they
Yes,
are?
I heard it.
The question is, like always, what are we doing today? Fernando, what are we doing today?
Today we're doing a backup camera, radio, Sirius XM, 4 speakers.
6 speakers.
6 speakers.
What kind of car are we working on?
This is a Jeep livery?
No, this is a Commander.
Really?
I think so. Maybe.
Jeep. That's a Jeep.
Well, anyways, I believe it's a Commander. Could be a Liberty. Really don't know. At the end of the day, don't they all look the same? I mean, seriously. Other than a Wrangler. Don't get me wrong, guys. I get the Wrangler. It's a Commander. Like he said, we have all those things going into this guy here. It's going to be a fun day, as always. So let's get started, shall we?
Okay, so the first thing you want to do is pop around the gear shifter carefully with your panel.
Let's plug that in so we don't rip it off. So you have one 7mm screw located in the pocket between the 2 cigarette lighters. All right, now we're gonna pull the 4 screws, securing the radio. So the reason why we wanted to get the radio out as quick as possible is because for some reason, this car that clearly needs a smart harness, no one was listing a smart harness as needed for this car. They were just calling for this 6522, but we were like, there's no way, this is a 2009, it has to have a smart harness. The other thing too is that we wanted to check and make sure that the Sirius XM antenna was behind the dash, so it is. We're gonna grab a SAT1, plug that into there. If you guys don't know what SAT1 is, that's an iData link Sirius XM antenna adapter, so you can retain your factory XM antenna. This also is going to need a antenna adapter for the FM, which is the Euro 6, which is this guy right here. Kind of looks like the same thing as the Sirius XM. Actually, if you look at the two, they're almost identical. Really where the difference lies is Sirius XM is typically going to be this brownish mustard color, and the wire is fairly thin as opposed to the FM, which has this 1/4-inch thick antenna and is typically white. This will just go ahead and plug right into there. All right, so we are going to have to do some trimming on the dash to get our radio in here, just like any other Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge radio. I'm going to run next door and get the right harness for this car. All right, so I went next door and I grabbed our SAT1, which is this guy right here. Inside, you just find a little tiny 6-inch adapter that'll plug into the mustard color harness, just like that. So that's all set and ready to go. And then I picked up an LCCH21. Paul swears this car is not listed as needing a smart harness, both on PAC site and Metris site. And I don't doubt it. You know, these things happen sometimes. It's just strange that it was on both sites. So what we're gonna do is we're actually just gonna test it to verify that it does what it needs to do. Because sometimes these Chrysler cars do strange things. So we're gonna go ahead and plug it in, turn the car on. Let me grab my meter. All right, we have a power light on inside the unit. We'll go ahead and set our meter to DC voltage. And we have accessory. We have illumination, and we have reverse trigger. So I ran next door and did a little bit more research on why this only lists a basic harness like this for the car. But after talking with PAC about why they don't list the product, is because there are some known issues with this car when using some form of an interface, whether it be PAC or Metris Access. What typically could happen is that the accessory may fall out. Sometimes the dash lights in the car wig out and go crazy. Sometimes if it has the factory premium sound, the amplifier will stop turning on. So what we have to do is go a little bit old school on this, meaning this harness here is going to have our speakers and our constant and our ground right here and here. But what it's lacking is accessory, reverse trigger, and fun stuff like that we get the benefits of having with a smart harness. Fernando's putting the backup camera in, like we've done a million times before. We'll just go ahead and grab the reverse trigger wire back there at the lights and run it with our backup camera. We need an accessory wire. Most of the time in a Chrysler product, one of the two cigarette lighters is capable of being an accessory. So we'll go ahead and find that. Sometimes you do have to go into the fuse box and move a fuse a different position over. We'll check to see if it has that, if it's not already one of these as an accessory. And then we'll go from there. The other thing we'll have to find is an illumination wire so that the radio will dim at nighttime, so that the GPS will go to a gray screen as opposed to just staying on the bright white screen at nighttime. So we'll have to find all those wires. Now let's go ahead and get over to the bench and take a look at everything else we have for this car. Let's take a look at the product that's gonna go in this. We're doing a Pioneer AVIX 7100. We're doing some Focal integration series. We got some coaxial 6.5s for the back and some component 6x9s for the front. This has that cool location up here in the dash so that we can put the tweeters up there. We're also going to retain his Sirius XM using the SVX 300, and then to bring it all home, we're going to be using the Metra 956511 dash kit. We'll go ahead and sand that thing down so that it fits onto our radio here. And then for a backup camera, this is the Cam LF3 from EchoMaster, and that's it. So that's what's going in this car.
In this car, the backup camera, it's on the way of the handle, so it's no way he can open the back door because the camera is here. So what we want to do is we want to flip the camera this way so he can have access to the back door. To flip the camera, what you need to do first is unscrew this little Allen screws, because when you cut the back side of the backup camera, sometimes these little screws fall off and you don't want to lose it. Then flip your camera, and this is the part that we need to cut. Right here. You pull the 6 screws, and this is the part that you need to cut. Also, remove the camera. I like to mark my camera so I know where the right side, the top and the bottom is. It's like this. I like to put an arrow. Also, we're gonna remove this part right here so the wire go through, it doesn't get cut. Basically, you mimic the other side, and also this bottom part right here so the wire can get through. So now remember, we marked the backup camera, so now it's just gonna be like this, and then we put the metal plate back. Let's go to the car and put it on.
So as the fun continues on the Commander, because we keep running into fun and exciting things with this car, as Fernando's told you, we had to flip the camera, which means we have to make sure that we can screw it into the bottom 2 bolts as well as the top 2 bolts. A lot of cars just have the top 2 bolts, and that kind of stinks. But with this particular vehicle, now that we've moved it, we have to be able to hit those 2 bottom things. Now, what you'll see here is his car only came equipped with these top 2. These were just actually open holes that all the water and everything was going through. So we need to be able to have a set of these down here. Well, obviously these are odd and I don't have these just laying around. We do have smaller ones that go in most cars, but this is special just for this car. So what we've done here is we've taken a 1/2-inch piece of our Sentra, we put the body side molding tape all the way around it so that it's nice and secure to the car. I'm actually pulling the door open and close with this right now. And then we'll go ahead and drill 2 holes in it and add our 2 bolts. So for one, it'll keep water from getting in here like it's been doing. And 2, we'll have our 2 bottom mounts that we need to secure the camera properly. Now the other thing we're gonna do, because we're gonna tap the reverse lights right here, is since we're back here and the lights we need for the radio to dim are also these same lights right here, is when he runs the reverse trigger, we're also gonna go ahead and tap the parking brake so that we can dim the radio with that. So we'll get those 2 wires right here at the light like we normally do, and life will be good there. Now we're just gonna have to jump into the car right now and see if we have an accessory that we can use to power up the radio. Fernando's gone ahead and pulled out the light here, and this is of course where we're going to grab our wires. They go down in through the car, and they're going to come up over here through this grommet. Now what we're doing is we're testing to figure out what is the parking light wire and what is the reverse. He's already gone here and found the reverse wire, which is this red blue. What we're doing now is probing to find the parking light wire. So we've gone ahead and we're pretty sure it's this guy right here. We have our other probe attached to the ground bolt right here. All right, go ahead and turn on the parking lights. Turn off the parking lights. All right, so there we go. We have the reverse, we have the parking lights. He's gonna go ahead and run those forward with the backup camera. Now the first thing we want to check is these two power outlets right here in the dash. So we'll go ahead and set our meter to voltage DC. We have no voltage on that one. Let's go ahead and turn the ignition on. And there we go. So we have a accessory wire. There is a difference between an accessory wire and an ignition wire, if you guys didn't know. An ignition wire actually will stay on through ignition, meaning when you start the car, the wire has power all the way through. An accessory wire will shut off when you start the vehicle because it's considered an unnecessary load for starting the vehicle. We'll start the car. As you saw, it dumps off and then comes right back on. That's perfect for a radio. We don't need that radio on through start. So we'll go ahead and we'll tap into this guy right here and get the wire that we need so our radio will function. So one of the features he is gonna lose by not having a smart harness available to us is the RAP circuit. RAP stands for retained accessory power. And what that is when you turn the ignition off, the radio stays on until you open the door. That's no longer gonna function.